Assalamu alaikum. I'm with Muhammad Arshad from MuslimMastery.com, and today we're going to be going over a funny story that happened nearly a decade ago.
Yeah.
So run us through this.
Assalamu alaikum. So what happens is that we are in this very building and we go upstairs, all of these amazing du'at like Sabur and all these other people that you know, and we go up there and it's Jummah time, it's the time for khutbah, and no one wants to do the khutbah. So when no one steps up for leadership, what happens is that random people will step up.
Yeah.
So we were all up there, and then someone asked the worst question you can ask at Jummah, which is, brothers, who would like to lead Jummah? So of all these wonderful personalities that were there, including myself, no one stepped up. No one stepped up, and a hand went up in the back of the room, and the brother says, I will lead Jummah. And we're all relieved, we're all happy, alhamdulillah, someone's leading Jummah. So anyway, he goes up, the brother goes up, and obviously, I think it was Noor or someone came, they gave the adhan. They give the adhan, and after the adhan, the first words this brother said was, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today on Jummah. And then he started talking about the fried chicken of Palestine.
The fried chicken and Palestine.
The fried chicken and Palestine. So suddenly, like, we realized, obviously.
Okay, wait.
You tell me what happened.
There's a bit more juice. There's a bit more
Go on.
juice here. So he was giving the khutbah, but he was incoherent. He was saying things that weren't making sense, and he was clearly, by the look of him, something wasn't there. Right? It's like, the lights are on, but no one's home.
Right. So what was your reaction when you were sitting there in that
So
khutbah
what
that you
I
should have
said,
done?
I was sitting there listening, and I just saw nobody is doing anything, and this guy is
Yeah.
going off.
Yeah.
So then I thought, okay, what do I do? So I tapped
No,
you or
hold
something.
on. So I'm sitting there, and what was going through my mind is the fiqh of being allowed to laugh in khutbah, because I know khutbah is very strict. So I was like, am I allowed to laugh at what he's saying or not? So anyway, we're sitting there, and it's just going on. And then Sabur, mashallah, he stepped up at that moment. He should have stepped up 20 minutes earlier. He stepped up at that moment, and he went out. And when he walked out, he kind of like said to me, come outside. So he calls me out to the side, and you said, what?
And I said, bro, this guy, like, you need to do the khutbah.
No, you said he's not making any sense at all, right? And when he said he's not making any sense, he's like, we're going to stop the khutbah. I thought he's going to do what a real leader was going to do, which is, I'm going to do khutbah. And he goes to me, he goes, bro, we need to stop this guy. You do the khutbah.
Yes.
Right? And me, I had never ever done a Jummah khutbah in my life at that point. But anyway, I went back to the room, and we went back to the room. Now, I got to ask you guys, if you were actually going to stop someone who's in mid-flow of Jummah khutbah, how would you do it? Maybe you
wasn't
go
a
to the
khutbah.
brother or
Yeah.
whatever, right? This guy goes, stands in front of it, and says, I have to put a stop to this. Like, talk about dramatic.
I didn't say
yeah?
that. I just said,
What?
mentally.
Something like you said,
something
I have
like-
to put a stop to this. And then the guy was confused. So I walked over to him and I shook his hand. I said, Jazakallah khair, brother. And he said, did I do good? I said, yeah, bro, you did really good. Right? And then he went and sat down. And then I gave my first ever khutbah because of this guy. Right? So what's the lessons you learned from this, Sabur?
Well, one is how to stop it. So I don't remember what I said exactly.
No,
but
you
I-
said something like, we're going to put,
Yeah, but-
we're going to stop. Like, no empathy at all for the guy. It was just like, end it, dead it.
That was true. I was just like, okay, how do I stop him? And then you came in and then you said that.
Yeah.
And he just went to the back and sat down. And we've never saw him before. I think
No.
he had some mental health issues. So anyway, then you started talking about your phone charger. And you stepped up.
And look at this. This is what we're talking about, communication stickiness. All these years later, you remember that khutbah, what I talked about.
Yeah. And it was to do with habits. Because if you have your phone in a certain place and the mushaf there, then you actually read a few pages of Quran before you go to sleep.
Exactly.
I remembered it
Yeah.
almost 10
You
years later.
very well.
So what is to do? What's the point of this story? MuslimMastery.com. The skills that you need to step up to make sure that someone does the right thing in the right way and is able to communicate something which I obviously didn't do. But you got to give me credit. At least I told you.
Bro, you get the reward for a proper khutbah, even though mine wasn't a proper khutbah, but you actually stepped up. And I think this is one of the big things that a lot of the times we lack the confidence, we lack the communication to actually do things. And so what this is going to help you to do is take your confidence to the next level. It's a free training. They have to go via the link in the description. Check that out, and inshallah they can get the free training and get access to it.
Yeah, and I benefited from the mentoring of Muhammad Arshad for over a decade. I'm telling you, guys, this is value for money. This is something I said to us in our last show and even previously, that this cranium, this grey matter, is the most important real estate that you need to invest in. You know, people are always like, oh, I'm invested in this, I'm invested in crypto, invested in land or whatever, or this stock. What about this? What about your ability to communicate? What about your ability to have confidence? What about your ability to have belief? And what do you call it? Believer's belief,
Believer's
right?
confidence.
And believer's confidence. So in order for you to live a flourishing life, you need to have all of those things. And you will find all those things on muslimmastery.com. So go on there, and once you click on there, what are the people going to see?
So you're going to get some free training. It's going to tell you how to deal with confidence, the lies that you've been telling yourself about confidence, the main thing that's actually going to transform you and the way that you're seeing the world, inshallah.
Absolutely. And once you've done that, come back, comment below, and tell us if you benefited from the course. Jazakallah khair.
Right.